Okay, everyone, welcome aboard my 2013 Ford F150 King Ranch with the Economy Boost engine, aka Ecoboost. And I'm here to record how I calculate manually the miles per gallon, compare it to the instant miles per gallon on the dashboard. I'm going to take the vehicle. I'm here at the gas station now. We're going to top it off so we fill up the tank completely before we jump on the interstate, which is just over the hill, just a short ride. We're going to take 100 miles or so just to make a good, nice round trip and get the engine up to temperature and run it for a decent amount and see what the mileage calculation comes out, both instant miles per gallon on the dashboard as well as manually. I'm recording this because I've had several attempts at a ride along with mechanics from Ford companies abroad, multiple Ford companies, and unable to get enough time of theirs to do a decent run. And you can't blame the mechanics. They're obviously got a lot to do and have to get people in and out. So my attempt here is to save everyone some time, and I don't have to schedule vacations and spend the time on the road with someone when I see this every single time I get behind the wheel of the truck. Those of you follow me on the website and Facebook's, and thanks for your posts and telling me about your problems too. It does seem like 2009 Ecoboost performs better than the 2013. I know that several people, and I've driven them myself, even with my own driving style, and gotten 20 miles to the gallon. I know it's not an issue abroad, but it's certainly an issue with a handful of vehicles, and I'm trying my best to get my issue resolved. So I appreciate that. I've been a Ford customer all my life, still am a Ford, obviously, customer, and this is really disheartening because it's my fifth Ford vehicle, and it's my second King Ranch. I like the F-150. I was teetering on the side of purchasing the Ecoboost or going with the full V8 and maybe going with the 250, and bought into the hype of the better fuel economy, and it's very frustrating to see that I average closer to 16 miles to gallon versus anywhere close to 18 or 20. You can see here the cumulative trip shows that I've gone 4,920 miles with an aggregated 15.3 miles per gallon. Using 320 gallons. Now we're going to calculate this manually as well as compare it to the instant miles per gallon in this trip. I'm going to keep the tape continuously running because I plan to burn it to a DVD and send it to the Ford company. Hopefully they can see it without any editing and understand that it wasn't anything strange to create this. It happens every single time I get behind the wheel. And those of you who are watching again online on the website that I have or on the Facebook accounts, I will edit it down, and I'll probably break this down into 20 updates on things every 20 minutes so that it doesn't take up so much space online. So again, I appreciate it. I'm going to jump out and fill up the tank so you can hear it top off, and then we're going to jump in and hit the interstate. And sorry for any background noise or music or anything that may occur, and I also apologize for the shakiness. I'm working on some sort of a bracket so I can stabilize the camera and not have it in my line of view when I'm driving. Right now I've created something to mount it to the visor, so it may vibrate just a bit more than is pleasant to look at. So let's go ahead and get started. Everything has been reset, trip B, and as well as the instant miles per gallon. So we shall get started. Okay, we were close to full. Now we're completely full. Let's get this show on the road. It's very unfortunate that I don't have the apparatus hooked up, the computer controls that the technicians use to capture any misses. I have a hard time reproducing the miss in the engine. And again, those of you who follow me online, I'm looking for any advice on how anything I can use to capture some of that information for Ford Motor Company so I can share it with them. It's a very intermittent problem. It seems to happen after long trips down the interstate. Haven't associated that with any type of weather condition or any type of driving condition. It seems to do it at variable speeds, variable times. It doesn't matter if it's an acceleration, deceleration, but you seem to feel it more on an acceleration. So I'm not sure how to capture that. I'm sure there's some device out there that would be similar to what Ford uses, but I would like to at least help narrow down what the problem is. It's an annoying miss. It doesn't alter the driving state, and it's not dangerous by any means, but it's very annoying and sometimes repetitive. It'll miss consecutively 3 or 4 times during an acceleration, trying to pass a vehicle, climbing a hill, that sort of thing. So it's one of those difficult things to reproduce. You can't just schedule a test drive and jump in and go. I might go 100, 200 miles, not feel it. I might even go a whole day and not see it. But then other times when it acts up, it seems to be pretty steady. It also happens when I am in idle, sometimes backing out of the parking lot. And so far on this drive, I've only felt it once, and so it may or may not happen again. So I'll try to put a score down on the sheet every time I feel one, kind of a thing, so I can record it and provide an update and a summary. For anyone interested in the exact topographical map or the Google Maps for the route taken on this drive, I will be able to post that on the website as well, so that you'll be able to see the inclines, declines. I don't have enough cameras to put it on the GPS, but it would be nice to have that plus a dashboard view to show that the terrain and when we're passing vehicles or when we have to slow down and apply the brakes. Right now it's a wide open day, wide open road on the interstate. I've got the cruise control set. It's a nice, easy day, no braking really. Just the only time we tap the brakes is on the downhill acceleration occasionally, but good, easy, smooth, wide open interstate. Part of the reason I picked this time and day is so we didn't have to get stuck in traffic jams. So that's sort of the driving conditions. And in future posts, I'm going to try to get multiple cameras mounted so that we can show the surroundings and capture a little bit more information. So that's just a little bit of information on where we are today with the driving. I'd also like to, for those of you who don't have access to the site, this is relatively flat North Carolina countryside, Interstate 77 headed north. We jumped on a Shell gas station just north of Troutman, which was less than a mile off the interstate. Just basically jumped right on the entrance ramp, and this has been all interstate drive. No side roads, no traffic lights. This has been all interstate driving. So, and it should be interstate point to point for the most part, depending on where we jump off and turn around at as well. But for the most part, this is going to be all interstate, and mostly cruise on the open roads. And occasionally, when we get into a traffic bumper to bumper, I'll have to stop, hit the brakes, take us off cruise control. But this should be ideal driving conditions. So far, it's been great. That was the second decent-sized miss in the engine. It was at around 1900 RPMs, doing about 77 miles per hour, and cut out pretty significantly. It felt like 2 times in a row. It definitely one good one, and so that's the second one on this trip. Okay, now here we are about almost 50 miles one direction, and I'm going to jump off the interstate here, make a quick turn around under the overpass and back on, head south for the next 50 miles. So we'll see what we get. Right now we're at 16 points. To mix non-highway and highway together, it really drags us down. This is all highway, excellent driving conditions. This is probably some of the best you can hope for on average with this vehicle. At 16.7 so far on the interstate with great driving conditions. We did pass through a small forest fire back there and had to slow down a little bit, but other than that, it's been pretty good cruising, wide open. So time to jump off and turn around and get it back the other way. Okay, we've made the turn. We are headed back in the same direction we came. We're at 16.5 average miles per gallon. 3.2 gallons have been used according to this. Is all according to instant miles per gallon so far. We've gone 53.3 miles in 51 minutes. So there's the math. About, on average, I guess, close to 60 miles an hour, but we've been doing more than that. We've been trying to keep it just over the speed limit and just under excessive fines. But here we are cruising along, and again, wide open road, no traffic really on the interstate. Okay, so we're right at 101.9. We're on the home stretch, about to get off exactly where we started from, and we'll fill up the gas, do the manual calculation on the mileage compared to what we've got on the instant miles per gallon. The ride back was very much cruise control all the way. Only had to tap the brakes a few times. Kept that average speed around 75, somewhere around there on cruise control. And the way up was mostly cruise control, maybe about half and half. I had to do some manual. I had to get around some cars and slow down. We had to get through a fire, a roadside fire, and a few things like that. But for the most part, it's been all the way up and back, pretty steady speed, steady driving, no real acceleration and slowing down. Just straight 100% interstate all the way. We just jumped off, went under the underpass and back on, so this is as interstate as it can be. All interstate driving, and we're at 16.3. It might jump to 16.4. Luckily, we're going down a hill here as we start to get off. But this is what it registers on the instant miles per gallon, and we're going to go and fill up, top it off, and compare, do the math, see what it looks like. But this is what I see every time I take an interstate trip with the vehicle. When I mix off-road, like side roads and in-town traffic where you have stoplights, stop and go, obviously it drags it down, and we get more like 15.5 and upper 15s. I have seen as high as 17 on decent runs, but it's that's the highest it gets. And this is your interstate miles per gallon. 16.4 as we get off the ramp here and pull up to the gas station, and we're going to do the manual calculation. So this is ideal driving conditions, all interstate. 16.4 on 100 miles, roughly 100-mile trip, round trip. Here we are, 16.4. And we're going to fill it up. So here we have the receipt. So we have got 6.6170. So we got 6.6 gallons of gas used up. The car says 6.3. We could just stick with 6.3. A little bit of error in the manual calculations at the pump. Sometimes you can top it off better than put more or less in. So we could stick with either way. So we will take the miles we traveled. It was 104, 16.5 with the manual calculation. That's using the vehicle's 6.3. So 104.3 miles divided by the number of gallons used, 6.3, we come up with 16.5. So the instant miles per gallon says 16.3. This says 16.5. It's really, in the grand scheme of things, when you've got an Ecoboost vehicle that's rated at 18 mix, highway and local, this is obviously way below that and becomes very pricey, very expensive to drive. So definitely not living up to the name of the Ecoboost, and I'm not sure if it's just this particular 2013 King Ranch F150. Or if it's abroad. I know that the version 2009 that I've driven does seem to have more power. This one, after 2,000 miles of owning it, is when I started seeing the problem. The first 2,000 miles, it had lots of power, lots of pickup on an open road. You hardly even felt it when you hit a hill. But after 2,000 miles, significant drag on the engine now, especially on side roads and when you're trying to drive larger inclines and some of the steeper grades, it really drags back and you can actually feel it. There's also a contributing miss in the engine that is very difficult to reproduce and capture, and I'm open to any ideas on how I can capture that and report it in. But right now this is the best I can do because I can't stop it. I'm traveling. I've got 15,000 miles on this vehicle now. The issues were reported right after 2,000 miles, and yet no one at Ford has seemed to be able to identify or resolve any of the issues, and it just continues to linger on, and I've tried multiple dealerships. The dealerships say there's nothing they can do, and then Ford Service Customer Care sends me to different service centers and says there's nothing that they can do as far as trading it in or swapping it out. So I'm trying to reach some resolution. I really just can't afford to keep putting this much gas through it. I drive all the time. As you can see, I bought this vehicle in April, at the beginning of April, bought it brand new, and now I've got 15,000 miles on it, and that's a lot of gas going through this thing. So anything that could be done to help out, I would appreciate it. And thanks for watching this video and helping. And for Ford, this is the reason I took it, was for you, and I appreciate you looking at it and helping me to avoid having to take multiple ride-alongs when you can obviously see that I'm getting 16.5 manually calculated, 16.3 to 16.5 computer calculated. They're pretty close, and they remain that way every time. So it's not really a calculation thing. It really truly is getting terrible mileage. And if I go back to trip A, you can see now I've got 5,024 accumulated miles at an average of 15.3 miles per gallon, and that's mixed, interstate, highway, and really that's just really what it is. So hopefully this video will do some good and help reassure you that I am a concerned customer and not just someone upset and complaining about something that's not an issue. When you see this many aggregated miles on there, and you see basically the vehicle, what it was sold to deliver versus what I'm seeing right now, hopefully you'll understand and help me reach some sort of a resolution on vehicles. I appreciate your time, and look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.